Get ready. Here's Raleigh and Gary with the call.
Okay, 50 laps is the distance. Here they come. They'll work it off of turn number 4. Billy Dunn acknowledges them and gives them the green flags. They head on to turn number 1.
Grasso off to a good start as he goes down to the outside groove and forcing Schofield down low. Here comes Brian. He'll make a bid from that position. Can't quite do it that time as Grasso is our first lap leader. Meanwhile, Marty Leary doing a good job, but now here comes the 28 of Gallup. He's into third place. Meanwhile, Grasso still holding the top spot. Back in the field. The field starting to sort out now. Richard Savory starts to break from the pack, followed by Dan Avery in the 10A. Eddie Spires working alongside Fran Principe. Going around is Leary on his own, and he'll lose a whole batch of positions.
Meanwhile, at the front of the class, we've got a brand new graduate for position number 1. Schofield is there, but look at Grasso giving him a dogfight for the lead.
In the rear of the field, car number M6, Chris Kopech, trying to make it 4 in a row as he tries to slice and dice his way up through traffic right now as he in car number M6.
No question about it. Further back in the field, Chris Kopech is starting to turn on some steam, and so is in Stephen Park as he goes to the outside of Eric Leclerc.
Here they come across the line again, and it's Dave Barabee fighting with the Reg for position. Here they come out of turn number 2, side by side. Now the Reg with a spurt will edge ahead of Barabee, and at the line, Reggie takes that position away. Here we go now. Avery looks to the inside of Savory, but Savory shuts the door. The 9 car moving well, working with Principe for position. Eddie Spires up ahead of them, and Jim Houghton touch wheels, but they're both okay.
Yep, Houghton's on the move on the outside, Raleigh. He tries to maintain his quest for that 4 spot. Spires just picked up the position, and he is looking very, very strong.
Battle for position for that number 2 spot as Richie Gallup tries to look to the inside. Off turn number 4. Let's see who's going to have the advantage when they come down to the stripe, side by side. Gallup and the 75 of Grasso.
Trouble now. We seen Gallup make contact with Danny Grasso as Gallup moves into position number 2. He is your second place car. Spires pinches the number 75 of Grasso to try to take over the 3rd spot. Here comes Savory, Avery, and Ruggiero.
Wow, the class starting to move to the front. Here comes Savory now as he's all over the back bumper of Eddie Spires. Now Spires will try to set sail for Gallup, but he has to worry about Savory coming on strong. Here comes Richard down low. He's got his nose in there. Off the turn they come. Spires still has him at the line, but Savory working hard. And off the second turn they come, and Savory has 3rd place.
Good racing action wherever you look in the top 10 positions here. Kopech and Houghton lock horns off the turn. Tony Papali becomes a victim of circumstances, shears off the right front suspension. Papali had absolutely no place to go. Teddy Riggett was the victim in that one as well. As Houghton came off the turn and he got sideways and almost stopped on the racetrack, he got away. But Tony Papali did not, and neither did Teddy Riggett. The damage is severe on those 2 race cars. 14 laps in for the first caution.
Talk about innocent bystanders. Wow, they sure did get it. There's Riggett limping off under his own power, but you can see some body damage and, of course, the flat tire, too.
Well, Riggett heads to the pit area with his machine.
Meanwhile, work goes on a couple of cars in the pit area. And see how that all works out.
And Raleigh just received an interesting tidbit from Bruce Adams that this Thursday night on TV 22 on the Alive at 5 News, the special motorsports edition, kind of appropriate. You know who the guest is going to be? Bennett Fuller.
How about that one?
So tune in and check it out. TV 22, Thursday night.
Too late.
Who's going to win the battle as they come off of turn number 4? Green flag is back out as we are underway. Schofield will win the battle.
Schofield got a tremendous bite on that restart, and it works to his advantage. Keep your eyes on Savory. He could be the surprise player. Oh! Spires and Avery Lockhorn, and Big Jim Houghton's front ends going east and west, as the Houghton car won't do the 4 New York any good here.
And Eddie Spires, too, is running extremely well, running it.
Okay. Oh, green flag is out. Not a pretty start, to say the least.
Schofield was on the ball in car number 09. He jumps right back out to that number 1 spot, trying to chase him down. Car number 28 of Gallup. Following closely is car number 9 of Savory. But now here comes the Reg trying to make that famous move down low on Savory.
Barabee is also coming to the front of this field. Chris Kopech is right there with him. Stephen Park, that car is really strong when he gets some clear track to show its potential and power with. 16 laps are complete. Schofield looking good. The Reg is down underneath Richard Savory for position number 3. Check that, the Reg is looking for 2.
We have a spin off of turn number 4 to 75 at Grasso. He'll get under his own power there as we stay green.
Here comes the Reg. He's driving over the speed bumps, and Dick Brooks will be taking a good look at that.
And Grasso close. As the field was bearing down on him, he went into a spin on his own, and I'll have to call it being done.
Okay, we're ready to go back to green flag racing. Schofield, Gallup, they wind them up. Off turn number 4, Schofield wins the battle once again.
But this time, Gallup will have his hands full with the Reg. Down low. Gallup powers down the backstretch.
Don't count out Dan Avery. He's looking very, very strong tonight also. And Chris Kopech with Dave Barabee. A lot of action left.
Brian Schofield's got his rear view mirror full of the Reg and Richie Gallup. The Reg keeps gaining inch by inch as they head down the backstretch. Still battling with the 28 of Gallup. Let's see what happens when they exit off of turn number 4.
Schofield really has his hands full now. The Reg working that bottom line very, very well again. Here he comes. Slips and slides and moves alongside Schofield. Can the Reg take the lead? Here he comes. He's got it. Back in the pack. Chris Kopech moves past Dan Avery. And up another position. Top 8 tightly bunched.
Currently in that 9th spot, car number 79 of Tom Jensen. He's followed by the 5 of Charlie Pastriak as they work off of turn number 4.
Keep an eye on Stephen Park. He's moving quickly too.
When they come down to the stripe this time, it's going to be halfway. 25 down and 25 to go.
Barabee tries to pick up some spots on the bottom. He saw the Reg make that move, but will he be able to do the same? Halfway down and halfway to go.
And here comes Barabee. Can he do it this time into this turn? Schofield really fighting him hard.
Stephen Park was going to try to use that inside groove, but he decided that he'd tuck it back behind Chris Kopech.
Meanwhile, here comes Savory down underneath Gallup. Made a bid for it. Trying it again. There's the battle for second gear down that back straightaway.
Good action all throughout this pack here this evening.
Here comes Kopech down underneath Brian Schofield. Stephen Park puts the Adirondack Beverages number 00 to the bottom. Oh! And a ton. Unbelievable off turn number 4. Dave Barabee gave a shot to Richard Savory that set off a chain reaction as Jensen rips the rear end in his car. Brian Schofield has no place to go. And it almost appears as if the car that initially set off the chain reaction, Dave Barabee, is trying to get it fired back up. gave a shot to Richard Savory that set off that chain reaction. Savory went into the wall at a ton, and Brian Schofield was a victim with no place to go. 28 of the 50 laps are into the record books.
Another shot at him, with now Kopech in third and Steve Park running fourth. Dan Avery's up to fifth. Charlie Pastriak working his way quietly through the field, now in sixth, followed by Eddie Spires and Bert Marvin.
Well, the Savory machine does not appear to be too worse for the wear, other than some right front suspension damage on car number 9, although it looked like it hit it a ton. And Dave Baraby's car looks to suffer the similar type of damage, enough to keep them out of the remaining laps of this feature event. But hopefully not as costly and severe as it had initially looked. So, Richie Gallup drifts up high. The inside lane opens. Kopech is there. Here comes Stephen Park. Kopech takes him up a little high. Dan Avery trying to make it 3 wide.
Park on that high side. Here comes Kopech trying to look for an opening on the inside, but he's got Richie Gallup right there in front of him. This is the man that's going for 4 in a row, car number M6.
He's looking good.
Very good.
Inch by inch, I think I can. Kopech moves into second. Stephen Park sees how Kopech's got to do it, and if he wants to get in there, he's got to do the same. Charlie Pastriak coming to life.
In the meantime, the Reggie car number 11 starts to walk away from the rest of the field. In tow, it's car number M6 of Chris Kopech, then it's Richie Gallup, then it's Stephen Park.
Oh.
Charlie Pastriak spin off of turn number 4 as the defending champion, car number 10A of Dan Avery, goes around, along with the 18 of Spires. That will bring out the caution.
Well, Spires,
what do you think, Raleigh?
Wow. I think the Reg will get the jump right here.
and he does.
Off turn number 4, here they go. Now Gallup going to try to fight back on the inside, takes Kopech just a little bit high. That's going to open the door up for Stephen Park.
Stephen Park saw the door open. He's a pro. Park knows that Richie Gallup's got to push right in the center of the turn, and if he's going to get by him, he's got to do it on the bottom. Right there, the car drifts up. Center of the turn, it goes into a four-wheel drift. But it's hard to keep your momentum going when you pinch the car off, and unfortunately that's what Stephen Park is forced to do by running the bottom.
Off turn number 2, side by side, Park and the 28 of Gallup battle.
Pushes him up a bit. Stephen Park is almost there. But this isn't horseshoes. Close doesn't count. Gallup's giving him a run for the money. Stephen Park and Richie Gallup. The battle of the red with 10 to go. Oh! Park gave him the whole car that time.
What a fight by Gallup. He's really giving it an all-out effort here. A terrific performance. And they've got 9 laps to go in this one. Back in the pack, Dan Avery has worked his way through quite a few cars. Here comes Charlie Pastriak with a bid under Chris Kopech.
Also having a good run, car number 07 of Bert Marvin.
But time is running out. They receive the mighty high five.
All right, the Reg, knowing just 3 more to go, is not going to do anything foolish. Here they go. And he's still got a pretty good spread over Gallup. Park still trying to find a way around, can't do it. And Kopech fighting off Charlie Pastriak. It'll be 1 to go for the Reg when they hit the line.
White flag is out. The new name in Victory Lane is an old name. Car number 11, Reggie Ruggiero takes down the win. Gallopin for second, Stephen Park for third, Kopech for fourth, Pastriak for fifth, Bert Marvin for sixth, seventh is Principe unofficially, and eighth is Dan Avery. So Reggie Ruggiero visits Victory Lane for the first time in 1996 at Riverside Park Speedway in his own race car, as he will take down the impressive win. Richie Gallup, hats off as he drove the wheels off car number 28 to finish in the runner-up spot on us. Next Saturday night for more of the best of the NASCAR Winston Racing Series. We'll give you the official finish as Raleigh has it as we wait for the Reg to go to Victory Lane. Raleigh?
Okay, Ben. In addition to Reg, second place to Richie Gallup after a strong effort. Stephen Park comes on from the back of the pack for a third place finish. Then it was Chris Kopech finishing fourth in the M6, followed by Charlie Pastriak in the 5. Sixth place to Bert Marvin in the 07, followed by Fran Principe in the 44X. It was the 10A of Dan Avery finishing 8th, and he was followed by Eddie Spires in the 18. Then the 7 of Dave Gallo rounds out the top 10. The 94 of Marty Leary finishes 11th, followed by Dan Grasso in the 75. Eric Leclerc 13th in the 78. Rob Fuller in 14th place in the 17M. Then it was the 9 of Richard Savory, the 04 of Dave Barabee, the 09 of Brian Schofield, the 79 of Tom Jensen, the 4 New York of Jim Houghton, the 67 of Tony Papali, the 47 of Ted Rickett, and the 34 of Scott Walker.
Well, down in the winner's circle, he is getting out of the automobile. And Gary Danko, let's talk with our winner.
Well, it's a new name in Victory Lane here for the NASCAR Dirt Type Modifieds, and it is the Reg. How's it feel to be back in Victory Lane here at Riverside Park Speedway?
Feels very well, very good, because Chris had a monopoly on the wins here, 3 in a row, and we started it back tonight and got a lot of good breaks, came back up to the front. You know, our car was going real well. Last week we had a little tire problems. Tonight, tires look like brand new, and that's why we're in the lead, and that's why we finished first.
Were you worried at any time about Richie Gallup on the outside of you on those restarts?
I had passed Richie to get to the lead, and I see he was having a hard time staying on the top groove, so I chose the bottom, and that played to my advantage because our car was super, today on the bottom. So we got to do what you got to do. But I see Steve Park and Chris Kopech coming. I said, boy, this is going to be a heck of a race, but nothing ever materialized from it.
Now, you came from the 12th starting spot to put the car in Victory Lane. Was your crew chief telling you anything at all?
Yeah, well, he's my eyes behind me when I have to either get to the top or get to the bottom. If there's a car there, if there's enough room, he'll say clear, or go to the top, go to the bottom, watch the accidents. It's just, you got to have a good spotter here because it's a real tight, fast racetrack. That's about it.
Okay, new name in Victory Lane. It's the Reg, back upstairs.
Okay, congratulations once again goes out to the Reg as he sets in the winner's circle.